The Indiana Fever beat the Dallas Wings 102-83. This was a highly anticipated game because it was going to be the first time that Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers would be going up against one another in the WNBA.
For the past 5 years, basketball fans have followed one of the sport's most iconic rivalries, Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. Both were high school sensations who chose different paths. Clark went to Iowa, while Bueckers chose UConn. In college matchups, Clark often came out on top, especially in the NCAA tournament. Despite her dominance, critics like Gino Arima questioned whether Clark's game would translate to the WNBA last night. The two finally faced off as professionals when the Indiana Fever hosted the Dallas Wings, but what followed wasn't just another game, it was a historic night. Clark did something that only she has ever done, and she did it for the second time. Picture this: two teenage basketball prodigies capturing the nation's attention, Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers. From the moment they first faced off in high school, a rivalry was born. Both were top-ranked recruits, but their styles and personalities couldn't be more different. Clark was known for her explosive scoring, pinpoint passing, and limitless three-point range. Bueckers, on the other hand, impressed with her smooth efficiency, deadly mid-range game, and court vision that could match even Clark's single quotes as dot.
Hey, Caitlin. You've known Paige since middle school, AAU. You guys were on the U19 World Cup team together. Is there anything that maybe stood out then about her, whether it be on or off the court, that maybe still reigns true today?
I mean, I feel like she's played in the same manner that she, has since she was, whether we were on the U16 team together, U19 team together, whether it was me watching her in AAU. She's always just been smooth. She takes what the game gives her. Her midi has always been as nice as it's been this year. She just plays way older than she is. She's confident, she's smooth, she just does everything at a high level, can score from all three levels. And that's how she's always played. And that's obviously translated really well.
College journeys took dramatically different turns. Paige Bueckers chose the storied UConn program under legendary coach Gino Arima, joining a dynasty with multiple national championships. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, committed to an Iowa program eager to prove itself on the national stage. Their choices set the stage for unforgettable NCAA tournament showdowns that would help define both of their legacies. Clark's Iowa squad shattered UConn's Final Four hopes, with Clark delivering jaw-dropping performances, none more iconic than her 41-point explosion that eliminated the Huskies. She outshined Bueckers in their head-to-head meetings, winning 2 of their 3 college matchups. As the rivalry grew, basketball fans and analysts began taking sides, turning their clash into something almost mythically epic duel that went far beyond college basketball.
And a lot of people are saying, oh, everything is she was Caitlin before Caitlin, she's better than Caitlin and all this stuff. That kind of stopped in the media. Caitlin Clark put up better numbers in the WNBA than Paige did in college.
Gino Arima had pointed criticisms of Caitlin Clark's game. He questioned her shot selection and expressed doubts about her readiness for the WNBA, especially when compared to his own star, Paige Bueckers. Arima believed Bueckers' strong fundamentals and polished style would adapt more seamlessly to the professional level. In many ways, Clark and Bueckers came to embody 2 contrasting visions of basketball greatness: Clark's explosive scoring and fearless range versus Bueckers' smooth efficiency and textbook execution.
And Diana said it best: this kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
When both players declared for the WNBA, fans eagerly waited to see when their rivalry would continue on the professional stage, with Clark holding a 2-to-1 edge in their college. Matchups, all eyes turned to their first WNBA showdown. But this time, Clark faced fresh questions about her transition to the pro level. The anticipation was enormous. ABC aired the game nationally, knowing it would attract viewers from across the country. And with Clark recently struggling to find her footing with the Indiana Fever, the pressure was on. This game was more than a rivalry. It was a chance to prove she belonged.
Talking to our player development coach yesterday, and he was like, just sent me a few things of like even Steph going through a slump. I think he was like 27 for his last 70 or something like that. Like the best in the world go through it, and I think that's like where you can find your confidence. And I think the thing I always fall back on is like, I know how hard I've worked, so this isn't something that's going to last, and the best players in the world go through this. So I feel like I'm getting good shots, and I think that's why it's frustrating, because those are the shots that I make.
It's where things got interesting. Leading up to the highly anticipated showdown, Clark's Indiana Fever were struggling. They had just endured a string of disappointing losses, falling to teams like the LA Sparks and the Golden State Valkyries. Matchups they were expected to win. These weren't elite opponents. They were teams the Fever should have handled with ease. The defeats raised eyebrows and added even more pressure on Clark heading into the spotlight.
I feel like this stretch, this is a big game for us. I think we've struggled in the fact that we're able to play one good game, and then we play a bad game, then we play a good game, then we play a bad game. So I think for us is like, we got to find a way to be able to stack really good games together. And then we go on the road, and, we're on a back-to-back, which is just a challenge in itself. No matter who you're playing, we play Connecticut, then we play New York. So I think Steph's message was, yes, All-Stars coming up, that break's coming up, but our focus is on these 3 games that we have left. So in that sense, I do think it's critical that our focus just remains on the game in front of us. And I feel like that's what everybody in the locker room is doing.
Behind the scenes, a philosophical clash was brewing between Caitlin Clark and head coach Stephanie White. Clark thrived in a fast-paced, up-tempo style, pushing the ball in transition and creating scoring opportunities on the break. White, on the other hand, favored a slower, more controlled half-court system. This difference in approach led to growing tension within the organization. Clark's natural game was being stifled, and the friction became impossible to ignore. The breaking point came during a game against the Atlanta Dream, when cameras captured a heated sideline exchange between Clark and White. Their intense, animated discussion made it clear. This wasn't just a minor disagreement. It was the public unveiling of a deeper conflict about the very identity of the team.
There is definitely something going on within the locker room, the front office. Something is off, man. This is the 3rd situation in one game we have had involving Caitlin Clark and the coaching staff and pretty much another player. And it looked like Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White definitely had a situation where they was in a heated exchange right before halftime.
Inter-lineup inconsistencies only made matters worse. Caitlin Clark was returning from injury and still trying to regain her rhythm. Meanwhile, Damaris Dantas had just rejoined the team after competing with her national squad. These changes disrupted the team's chemistry and made it difficult to establish consistent rotations or offensive flow. With key players coming and going, roles remained unclear. The Fever's offense suffered, missed shots piled up. Turnovers ended, promising possessions, and the fast break opportunities Clark thrived on were nowhere to be found. The team looked disjointed, and it showed on the scoreboard. Clark candidly addressed the inconsistency. "I think we've struggled in the fact that we're able to play one good game, then we play a bad game, then we play a good game, then we play a bad game." Her own shooting slump became a growing concern, but she remained unfazed. "I'm never going to stop shooting," she said, likening her struggles to Steph Curry's occasional cold streaks. The turning point came when the Fever finally snapped their losing streak with a win over Atlanta. But while the victory brought some relief, the deeper issues hadn't gone away. The tension between Clark and Coach White still lingered. The philosophical divide wasn't resolved, was simply paused. The game against Dallas became the ultimate test. Would Coach White finally embrace Clark's fast-paced vision? Or would the ongoing philosophical divide continue to hold the team back? This internal tension set the stage for a high-stakes show, especially with Clark eager to prove that her style could succeed at the professional level. Then, something remarkable happened. Stephanie White made a bold decision. For the first time, she handed Clark the reins, giving her full control to dictate the tempo and run the offense her way. This wasn't a minor tweak. It was a complete shift in philosophy. White put her trust in Clark's instincts, letting her lead the team with the freedom she had long been asking for. And the results were immediate.
It can be frustrating when your shot isn't going in the way that you want it to, but then I look at the box and it's like I'm really 4 shots away from having a really good game, a really good shooting game. So that's where you find your confidence, and I know those are shots that I can make, and I'm never going to stop shooting. So, until I break out of it, I'm just going to keep launching, and that's all I know, and I'm still confident in everything that I can do.